Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I was supposed to have this video up yesterday, but the husband was at home, and if you remember, if you've been on my channel for any length of time, you might sort of have heard him talking in the background, so it wasn't optimal colouring, voiceover, not colouring, I'd already done the colouring. Optimal voiceover conditions. So we're doing it today. I am using Jane's Doodle digital image. Now I have the exciting news to announce that I'm part of her little design team, which is very cool. This, no pun intended, or segue maybe. This actually stamp set is called Coolest. It is so stinking cute. Now it does come in a bundle of 9 images, I think, if I remember correctly, about 9 images. The first image that you see is actually a little avocado in her shop, but if you scroll through the images, you will come across this little cutie. I loved it. It's great. Anyway, I'm just winging it with the colours. I was sort of picking colours that I quite liked. There is an image, a colour here that I'm using. The next one, it has actually bone dry. At this point, I've just re-inked it. So let's go back a little bit. The blue-green combination we had was BG78, BG49, BG15, and 13. Using my darkest colour behind the wafer, or as my husband would say, wafer, but that's not really how you pronounce it, but that's how he plays around and pronounces it sometimes. So this way it's sort of it's putting it into the background a little bit. Also with those icy poles, I don't know what other people call them, but we just call them icy poles. Those particular ones are the double icy poles, and they usually have a bit of indentation in the front of it, so we've used some darker colors in that as well. This ice cream, we'll go back to the orangey yellowy color. I'm playing around with giving it more coloring ice cream, basically, because some of it looks really, really cool in just how it makes it all sit up. So do I have it down pat at the moment? I don't think so. But, you know, we're enjoying it. We're playing around with it. And I quite like how it turned out. So it's all good. It's a practice. The orangey yellow is orange. Let's just go orange. We had YR27, Y38 and Y15. Now I am going to try and rotate that around a couple of times in this group. My chocolate, and I'm also, spoiler alert, I'm going to do the wafer. Sorry, I just can't help me. It's just what we don't seriously think that they pronounce that way. We just tend to play around with it and pronounce it that way. Do you get my gist? The wafer, I am going to do E29, 27 and 23. So that's the chocolate and the wafer. This red-violet combo deal we've got going here, that is RV69, RV29, RV25, 13 and 11. So I'm also going to do my little soft serve ice cream scoop. I'm looking at this, trying to keep a reflective shadow on the left hand side because we've got the other one, so I didn't want it too dark up against dark, you know. I am trying to make it that each little, I don't know, so what are the little scoop, it's not a scoop, but it's in the machine, and it's swirl. The swirl, let's just go with that. The swirl has a little bit of highlight in the center, and so therefore in the where it touches another swirl, it's going to be a little bit darker. What I am also going to do, mostly sort of on the top, I'm going to have that right on the line. The rest of it, I'm going to leave a little bit of a shadow. I've cut that out because you already saw me colouring in half of it. I felt like you didn't really need to see all of it. I'm very conscious of your time. This is a long video because there's a lot of colouring. So this is where we're going to go in for the wafer. I've got my E29. I'm still trying to figure out how to keep my image in focus and my marker lids in focus. She's not happening. It's not happening. I haven't done anything too great with the wafers. I'm going to do it again with this one. We're laying down our darkest colour. In this situation is our E33. It's going to go E33, 53 and 51. I'm putting in my highlights of it, like just going down like I usually do, and going down right down to the lightest colour. So we've got our darkest underneath our ice cream scoop, underneath our watermelon. Sorry, just had to cough. And leaving the shadows on the outside just to give it that appearance of a curvature. With this particular one, I've just, because it is a lighter colour, I've done the lines of the wafer just at the very, very end. The wafer cone, the actual wafer piece, the chocolatey wafer piece, I did that at the beginning only because it's quite dark. So I wanted to just sort of soften that a little bit. These are going to be the same sort of images. With this one, or same sort of colour, sorry. With this one, I'm doing a little bit of tip to tip just to help blend that out a little bit more. I just found it wasn't sort of sitting just quite right. My cone at the very, very top. So we're going to go in at the very end to do our wafer, our, I don't know, waffle image, the waffle texture in it. I'm playing around with my little edging and just sort of trying to give it a little bit of definition to have the lines. We're going to do the same, not definition with the lines, but with our little, I don't know what they're called, wafer straws. But it's only very small, so I wasn't too worried about that. Our red combination we've got here is I'm going to come in with a darker colour later on. So just beware. At the moment, we've just used R29, 27, 25, 22, and we're going to go right down to 21. But I am going to put in a little bit of R89. I'm not too sure if it's in the watermelon piece or not. But I've kept... You can see there it's very, very streaky because, you know, watermelons tend to have a little bit of texture. And I thought that might be really, really cute. So we left those in and tried not to blend that out a little bit. Try not to blend it out too much. We've got 3 cherries. Now, the ice cream tops here are going to be a very strong, rich red. And it's going to be, this is where we've got our 89. We've just added a little bit of that in just at the bottom just to, because he's sitting on top of something else. So the rules are basically anything that's touching something else or is sitting behind, you know, behind something else, it's going to be a little bit darker. The cherry in the 3 ice cream scoop one is going to be pretty, it's not going to stand out too much, but it's okay. I don't mind. We have vanilla, which is E33, 21 and 30. Now I'm just doing little lights, sort of semi-C's, not quite full C's, and softening that out with a 0, just so it blends in a little bit more. Because vanilla ice cream doesn't have a lot of colour and a lot of texture, so we just wanted it a little soft. So it's a very creamy ice cream scoop yellow. It's I don't know what flavour it would be, but it's not quite white. But I quite liked it, so we went with that. I've done the same thing for those 2 other scoops. You can't see the one in the background. This is a strawberry wafer straw. I don't really know what they're called, but that's what we're going with. generally speaking, you try and have 3. Now, I've broken that. Spoiler alert, I've broken that. And I've only gotten there's going to be one other different color that's been added in, and you'll see that in a little bit. But there's 2 of this, but that's okay. You've got 3 brown. You've got, you've got a couple of reds there. We've got 3 reds. We're actually going to do another red in a little bit. The ground is, I'm going to pick up one of those colors again. That's all right. This is the same color combination that I've done with my blue-green. I'm just trying to give him a little bit of texture. I really struggle with trying to tell you how to describe things. So bear with me. But, a lot of those bowls, they have that sunken little part in there, along the actual bowl. That's what I wanted to keep going with. I wanted to give the impression that it was a little bit dipped down. So we've done a little, it's almost, some of them are like 7s. Do you know what I'm talking about? In the middle of the bowl, we've got those little funny, elongated, slightly weird shape rectangles. That's what I'm talking about. The strawberry topping that we've got here, the same reds, and I've done a lot of little squiggles. I will remember to clean up that other, or do the other one in the background, but for the time being, I'm going to forget him. So this strawberry has a texture to it. Okay. This one, we're going to use, this is the extra color that we're going to bring in. So we've got YG25, we've got YG23. I am not too worried about blending that up all into it because watermelon seems to have just blend all through. And then the E51, and that's just flicks of down into the green, just so it has a bit of a smooth blend. Make sure that you clean off your tips if you're going to do, especially around with red. Just make sure it cleans it off. For a bit of texture, I added the white gel pen. The strawberry ice cream scoops, I actually am off camera going to put that. This is where I was just going to do that. I'm actually going to put a light color back over the top of it, and it ends up being R24. Just to tone those down a little bit. This is new to me playing with the white gel pen, so we just fluked it. We're coming back in with our pink combination, so we've got 3 of those. We've got 3 of our chocolate. We've got 3 of our light color. We've sort of got 3 of our vanilla. So we're mostly working in 3s and we're rotating things around. I just couldn't bring myself with my watermelon slice to do another color. I couldn't do it. This is just paper out of my stash. This is actually paper rose. I think it's Summer Party. There is a link over to my blog where you can get close-up photos and a list, of course, of everything that I have used today. This is just some Stampin' Up. Orange Tangerine Tango. Yeah, that's it. Tangerine Tango. Very, very old. I don't even know if it's still around. I was an ex-demonstrator from years ago, so I've got a lot of cardstock. So he's going to be our little base for today. So if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'd be very honored to have you be a subscriber. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it made a bit of sense. We're going to put a little bit of glossy accents on our cherries and our little seeds from our watermelon. And that is it for my card for today. I hope you're well. Take care. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.